So no Renee, no problem. You just think
That's
it's
right.
normal to just tweet something like that out?
Yeah,
It's a normal behavior?
Got an issue? No, I felt bad about it, you know? We're talking
Why
about,
did you feel bad?
I don't, because I was like, what if somebody sees that and they're like, maybe we don't need Renee.
Oh, you thought I was gonna get fired?
No, I don't know. Who knows? I don't want to put that seed out in the universe. This
Fair
woman
enough.
without her.
In this episode of Close Up, I'm sitting down with Daddy Magic Matt Menard. We are talking about his career, his relationship with Daniel Garcia, and MJF. Nothing makes me happier than if I get a voice memo from you that's either a song or some kind of shouting or yelling.
Yelling.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Isn't there something that you were going to show me on your phone of some kind of video?
Oh, it was Jack.
Your son was doing it.
My son Jack.
Let's talk babies.
So, around the house, I'll do. You're familiar with Bob Cole,
Yes.
obviously being Canadian, right?
Of course.
Canadian broadcaster, hockey night in Canada, right?
Yeah.
Saturday night commentator. We have a mutual friend, redhead, okay?
Okay, got it.
Who would do an impression of him and give the "oh baby," and somehow this just like infiltrated my life. I use it all the time. "Oh baby," all the time. And my wife sends me this yesterday, and it's baby Jack. She goes, "Where do you think he got this from?" Hold on. Hold on, wait. That's the one. That last one. So, oh my God. So I'm going around. This is just in my life to the point where my son is doing it now.
I would like to know how much you've been able to reflect on yourself as a human being now that you're raising a version of yourself.
Oh my goodness.
Because Jack's
what kind of
you.
question is this?
Jack is you.
Yeah.
Now you're really getting it.
Yeah. So I read it's like a tweet or something the other day. I never realized how weird I am until you see it mirrored in your child. And that is, wow, did that hit home?
Oh yeah.
Did that, because he'll walk around the house doing these weird dances and I'm like.
Where'd you learn that?
He is just mirroring everything I do. And he'll do it more so when I'm not there.
Okay.
Like I don't see a lot of this stuff.
He's filling the void.
Yes, that's what my wife said. He goes, he becomes you when you're not here. And that is
your wife.
This poor woman. A saint. She is the lovely Stacy. She is a saint.
Shout out to Stacy. We see you, we love you, we respect you.
Yeah.
Doing the Lord's work for us.
Is she ever? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it's really crazy watching your kid. Like Nora is very much so both me and John, but she'll do stuff and I'm like, oh my God. She's got really hyper and I'm like, that's from me.
Isn't that when they get in that mood?
You
give them ice cream? Forget it. It's a night. Never again. You're never getting ice cream again, Jack. Never. It's over. I can't deal with it.
It is very, very scary.
Yeah.
What would you say if Jack said to you one day he wanted to be a pro wrestler?
Oh, he did.
Oh, he did?
Not me. He told his mother, but he did. He goes, I want to be a wrestler like Dada.
Oh, man.
And I'll cry about it if I think about it too much.
Oh.
But,
yeah.
But like,
we like tears on the show. If you want to just bust out some waterworks, we're down.
I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Because it's hard.
I know.
It is hard. And the uncertainty and the beating it takes on your body, I don't know if you want that for your kid,
I know, because I sometimes think about that too, because the fun part about what we do sometimes is the ups and the downs, and that uncertainty can be fun to a certain point.
Yeah, if it all works out in the end.
Of course.
If it all works out.
Yeah.
That's
Like the chase is really fun. But then there's other sides of it that aren't so fun. I mean, you've had some of those ups and downs in your career. I mean, what is that like navigating some of those things and kind of staying the course for you?
I mean, it's tough. It's tough. Like, my wife was 8 months pregnant, ended up without work, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Before coming to AEW. And very blessed. God bless Tony Khan, by the way, everybody. Okay, the saver of our industry.
Honestly, yeah.
And just to think that my son would choose that path and want to go down that road. Look, if everything ends up okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
But how many people make it?
I know.
Right? When you really think about how many wrestlers are in the entire world and how many make a living at it.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a better chance saying, I want to be in the NFL.
Honestly.
Right? You really do.
Yeah, you probably do.
The amount of full-time jobs.
You look at how big a roster is and like all the different opportunities you could have that way. But pro wrestling wise, I mean, like you just said, I mean, shout out to TK. Now there's so many more opportunities for wrestlers to be able to make a living and to be able to provide for their families and live out their dreams, where before that just wasn't the case.
Oh, it was
and
not
it's
the case,
like, it's really scary.
Big time.
Yeah.
There's only, I made this analogy the other day. Like we have, the NFL, you have 32 teams. In wrestling, there's what, 3 teams you could play for?
3 teams.
Right?
Yeah.
3 teams, really?
Yeah.
Like, and that's it.
Yep.
And from there, like, even if you're lucky enough to make a team, you want to get into the top, you know? You
Yeah.
want to be on the first line, you know?
Yeah.
And to get there, and God, the road is...
What was that time like for you to have that downtime, to have a pregnant wife, be
Yeah.
out of work and figuring out what that next step was going to look like for you?
I mean, this is the most anxiety I've ever... You want to feel pressure?
I can't imagine seeing you with really bad anxiety. That would be a tall order.
Yeah, it's not...
Again,
it's not pretty.
shout out to Stacey.
Yeah, and I didn't realize... we talk about it now, 3 years later, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But how she felt in that moment, because I wasn't... I mean, I knew, you know, what she was feeling, and she internalized it all and probably just pushed it on the baby, you know?
Yeah.
But, yeah, no, it was tough. You want to feel pressure, have a child coming into the world and no work. And
not knowing what you're going to do.
Trying to figure it out, but that's why you network, that's why you make friends, that's why it's important to play well with others.
100%.
Yeah.
But, you know, kind of what you were saying, too, of, like, not really knowing what that next step is and trying to figure out, like, of course, you've got bills to pay, you've got a family coming in, but it's also still keeping that glimmer in your eye for what you want to do to keep that dream alive,
how do you do it? Because if you pack it up, you know what I mean?
Then what?
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over. You just go back to regular life, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
you know?
but you know, I think there's
This
a
is what you
certain
chose to do.
amount of lust that we have for what we do, and kind of like romanticizing
Yes.
that entertainment
There
side of
is,
things.
yeah.
It's like to let that go is a heartache.
It is.
It's really painful.
It's true. You know, but here we are.
So when the opportunity
are.
came here, talk to me about when you actually joined AEW and when that opportunity all kind of came to fruition for.
So I mean, I think I went a week without a paycheck, which is pretty great, like pretty unbelievable.
Yeah.
Get the phone call, and they're just like, yeah, we want to use you on Dynamite the next,
Great.
and then before I even knew it, he goes, okay, we're gonna team you, Jeff, obviously, and Daniel Garcia together, the 3 of us, and we're gonna take on Dynamite. Nobody knows us. Darby, Eddie Kingston, and someone named John Moxley, whatever. He's a POS, it's fine. Yeah, in Jacksonville, and it happened so fast. And I'll talk about this with Daniel. We talk about it often, just being in that ring and hearing Wild Thing play and in front of a huge, like, I don't know, 2,000-3,000 people in that place, which is, you know, full. And you could just smell the summer air. It was early August, you know?
Yeah.
And the humidity, that Florida humidity, being in the ring, and you just takes you back to that moment. You know, something just smells something and takes you back to a moment, like that summer breeze.
Magic.
Yes.
That magic that's in the air.
That song playing, the people going nuts, because just coming right out of pandemic, it was like, you know.
We're back, baby.
Yeah.
We're so back,
oh man,
baby.
what a night! I'm getting goosebumps just
But
thinking
it
about
is. It's so cool to be able to to sort of
it's
capture
nice.
those moments and
Yeah.
remember them, because I feel like life moves so fast here. I mean, you think back to then, all the different matches you've had, now doing commentary, like all these other things that you've been able to do. It's really cool to be able to remember specific little moments like that and
It's
like
crazy.
remind you of what you do.
We're here, Blood and Guts tonight.
Yes.
You know, 2 years ago I did a Blood and Guts match.
Yeah.
You know, your man in that match as well.
Yeah.
You know, I've only been busted open 3 times, twice by John Moxley.
Sorry about that. I'm
Yeah,
glad
it's fine.
glad
It's
it
just
doesn't bleed over into my work.
It's
Thank
just
God.
what we do.
That is what you guys do.
But yeah, speaking of commentary, like it was that match 2 years ago, I ended up tearing my shoulder apart, right?
Yeah.
Labrum and what do you call it? Rotator cuff.
Okay.
Right?
I'm not a doctor, but you know one.
But, yeah, take a look at this. You see this finger? Can we get a zoom on this finger? Doesn't look good. Hasn't even been to a doctor, no x-ray, no
It's
nothing.
bad. It's not a torn labrum
Who's
or
in charge?
rotator cuff. Not me, apparently. I don't know.
You know? And when I was out from with the injury, like all summer, I was just like, I gotta
Do something.
I gotta figure something out here.
Yeah.
I can't keep doing this to my body, because, and this is why I have such a respect for somebody like John and Eddie Kingston and those guys, because the toll that they put on their bodies, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And being in a handful of those matches, look at me, I
feel it,
ended
yeah.
up on the shelf, you know?
Yeah.
And I was just like, I want to try announcing. I gotta figure out if I can do this,
Yeah.
you know? But
How was it dipping your toe into that world? I mean, obviously you're great at it.
Thank you.
But stepping in to do commentary is obviously so different.
Yeah.
It's different than cutting a promo. It's different than doing an interview. Like, it is a whole other beast.
Big time, big time. So I text Shivani. I was like, hey, this is something I'd like to do.
Yeah.
What do you think? And he goes, let me text TK. And he goes, yeah, let's do it.
Great.
And just like that, you know. but we had the YouTube shows,
Yeah,
right? The
yeah.
Dark Elevation.
Yeah.
And so, which was such a great way to just
Try
kind
some
of,
out.
yeah, no pressure.
Yeah.
If it stinks, it stinks.
Yeah.
We could just not air it.
Yeah.
Do it again, or
Yeah.
you know, there's a million ways to go about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was scary though.
Do you
first
like
time.
doing it?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Almost more than wrestling.
It's cool because it's such a different version of our storytelling that's so important to what we do. I mean, you think of those iconic calls that you hear in pro wrestling and how much those are the things that just like, those stick with us. I always think like I had a really great relationship with Mean Gene Okerlund, and you couldn't walk anywhere with
so
that
funny.
man without people being like, oh my God,
Really?
you were my childhood.
That's
Because you
amazing.
have these really like iconic moments. So it's just a really cool element to what we do in pro wrestling that I don't think it always gets the love that it deserves.
And it's really what solidifies like a moment.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
You remember the call.
Yep.
To me,
yeah.
you know?
Yep, definitely. Okay, let's go back to your relationship with Danny.
Yeah.
He's unfortunately on the shelf right now at the hands of MJF. But talk to me, before we get into what happened with Danny and MJF, but just about your relationship with him. I mean, you talked about that first match and you guys get paired up together. But what made you guys kind of gravitate toward each other, still have the relationship you do today?
So, I mean, we just got thrown together. Right? I didn't know Danny. I mean, I knew of him. I knew he wrestled in Montreal together.
Yeah.
Maybe we were on a couple shows before coming here, you know?
Yeah.
But, so I didn't know him at all. Heard of the accident that he got in. And there's just something about coming into AEW together. And like kind of our all we had was each other. We didn't know anybody, the landscape, the political side of everything, you know what I mean? How to navigate those waters. So we kind of just did it together because we had to. We were thrown together. And from there, the relationship just grows. And he's a young man, right? Well, I say young. He'll be 26 next month. He's no spring chicken no spring chicken anymore, Danny. Okay. All right. But at the time, he's like 22. You know.
Yeah.
He's a kid. He's a baby, and just felt this almost like wanted to not protect him, but like just.
Like that big brother kind of feel.
Yeah, I guess. I don't want to big brother him at all. He's his own man, but. Yeah, kind of, you know, like he would come with advice or this and that, and being older, you know, quite a bit older than him.
Old grizzled vet.
Goddamn. How did that happen?
Dude,
just overnight, one day.
I don't know.
Right?
I don't know.
One day
I
you're
like
the young
I'm
person.
25,
Yes, and you are not.
I'm like a teen mom.
Yeah, teen mom. That was a show.
I know.
Right? So Danny, and as time goes on, you just forge this relationship and this bond. And I just have love the kid.
There's something so special about him.
Yeah.
I feel like from the time that I started here, and also same, hearing about him, seeing him, obviously my relationship with him is different than your relationship with him, but I feel like you see something of him. There's something so authentic about him.
I was just going to say, that is the word.
And that's the key. That's what everyone is striving for, right? Is to just like be themselves and lock in on that. And I feel like he's really found that recently.
He's genuine.
Yeah.
You feel like the guy you're watching on screen, that's who he is.
Yeah.
You know, and I remember we talk about interviews and promos and all that, and he's just like, I just want to talk.
Yeah.
I don't want to, you know.
Don't want to
like I'll
wrestle
get
in it.
loud. I'll get loud. You know what I mean? And he's like, I don't think that's who I am. And sometimes I do want to bring more. I just come, fucking, can you get mad? Danny, are you mad, Danny? You know, like get angry.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
But that's who he is, you know?
Yeah,
That is who he
it's
is.
cool watching him kind of figure out who he is with each opportunity that he's given, which now makes this moment of what happened with MJF and having him on the shelf feel that much more painful. Because he was really hitting a stride. The fans are so behind Daniel Garcia. I mean, not only is he such an incredible in-ring talent, but he's got the charisma, he's got the dance moves, like he's got all those things that make people fall in love with him. And now to be 26 years old and have to be sidelined for however long he's sidelined for, like that is really painful for a man in his career at that point.
I mean,
you don't always get that back.
No, I mean, this time has been stolen from him.
Yeah.
You know, what's it been, 2-3 weeks now, right? Since Max did whatever he did.
Yeah.
And we don't know when Daniel's going to come back. You know, he lost all the strength in the left side of his body, and that.
You mentioned the accident that he was in before too. It's like his body has already been through so much.
It's been through so much.
Yeah.
It's been through so much, and doctors are very careful.
Yeah.
Right. We do not know when Daniel's going to come back. You know, I just hope he makes full recovery.
Yeah.
For his life.
Of course.
For his life. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about it. It's sad.
So you've known MJF for quite some time.
Yeah.
And I was there in that moment when it seemed like you were trusting him that he maybe had good intentions for Garcia heading into this. How much has Max changed from when you met him to where he's at now?
I mean, it's been a 180. Been a 180, if I'm being honest with you, you know. Obviously, we have, I don't know what, AEW's been around for 5 years now. So there's a good sample size of who the person that he's become, you know. But you want to know why I felt like I could trust him in that moment, you know. The day that I met Max, you know, he was a young man. I don't even know if he was 20 years old at the time, you know. He was almost, I don't want to say shy, but like just seemed like a sweetheart of a guy, you know, going around, did all the right things, shaking the hands, asking questions, but like genuine, you know. Back to the point, it's why did I trust him? Because I remembered the guy that I had met, and I was like, maybe we're coming back to that, you know. He had been pretty good to Danny the weeks leading up, and the second that he kicked Danny down low, there it was.
Yeah.
And it's on me.
I was just going to say, I mean, not to steer it in that direction, but was there part of you that was blaming yourself, being like, you should have seen that one coming from him?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course, Ray Charles saw it coming.
Yeah.
But I couldn't, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. And now Danny's sitting at home, you know?
Do you think that is there anything that can nothing's going to right this wrong, because that time lost is time lost and can completely alter somebody's career, but is there something, is karma going to come back to MJF? Is somebody like MJF going to be able to continue to thrive in this business, moving around it the way that he does?
You want to say karma will get him? Yeah, I would love to think that. But if you look at the way things are going, does what he wants.
Yeah.
He gets what he wants.
Yeah.
Without fail, you know? I don't even know what to say about it, Renee. Something's gonna get him. Something will get him at some point.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, thank you for hanging out with me here. Of course, when you talk to Danny, send him my best.
Yeah.
But
For sure.
thanks.
Thanks, Renee.